This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore. Today is Martin Luther King Jr. Day. First signed into law by President Ronald Reagan in 1983, but it took almost 20 years until the holiday was officially observed by all 50 states for the first time in the year 2000. While most people today revere, speak warmly of, and remember fondly Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., this wasn't always the case. And I think it's important for people to understand the history of acceptance of political protest for black people in this country, because we see many parallels from the past to today. I mean, think about the outrage over Colin Kaepernick peacefully protesting a system in which young black men between the ages of 15 and 35 are killed by police at rates as high as 9 times greater than that of any other group. Think about the vitriol that's directed at Black Lives Matter. Keep these contemporary examples in mind as we look back to the March on Washington on August 28, 1963, when some 200,000 people gathered to show support for the continued inequalities facing African Americans. You may know it best by the oft-praised "I Have a Dream" speech delivered by MLK. You know, the speech everyone, including Republicans, quotes and admires. Well, in May of 1963, Gallup polls conducted a survey asking participants to rate their views of MLK on a scale from +5 to -5, with +5 being very favorable and -5 being a highly unfavorable view. At this time, the same year as the March on Washington and the now universally beloved "I Have a Dream" speech, 25% had a highly unfavorable view of it, while 37 gave ratings of unfavorable in total. These ratings remained fairly steady in 1964, but jumped a bit in 1965, and in 1966, the total unfavorable rating had jumped to 63%, while highly unfavorable had jumped to 44%. MLK was gunned down by a racist radical in 1968, just 2 years after this jump. Now, here is where there is a lesson to be learned. Gallup ran the same exact poll in August of 2011, 48 years after the March on Washington, and found overwhelming support for MLK, with just 4% of participants giving an unfavorable rating, and just 1% of people giving a highly unfavorable rating. So, my message today is for those out there who may be watching, and just so you know, hate watching is also watching. My message is to be on the right side of history. Don't be a part of that large percentage of Americans who had unfavorable opinions about black protests while they were happening. Get yourself ahead of the curve. Skip the almost 50-year period of reflection and start thinking favorably right now of those who take a knee or take to the streets in support of Black Lives Matter. Not only will you be better for it, our nation and world at large will be as well.